Welcome to the Cables, Lace, and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I am a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. You can barely see my Anya, but she's right here. But right past her, but on this couch, is my puppy Nell Nell, and she is just as black as Anya. So, my friends are here to visit with us. I do have some progress that I have made on some of my whips, but I have a story first, and it's a really sad story. Sad to me, probably kind of funny to others. So back when Joann's was closing, I was really, really sad. And I was stocking up on supplies because I figure, what if? What if? So I saw that they had interfacing for a really cheap deal. And I bought yards of it for like a couple few dollars. And I had it stashed away. But then recently I moved it. And I moved it to on top of a bin, but underneath the table, thinking it would be just fine. It would be just fine. You see where I'm going with the story? So I kept finding these pieces of like fabric, or like, did they get into my scrap bag, like where I put all my little pieces of cuts so I can stuff other things with it, waste not, want not. So I found all this stuff on the floor periodically. And I'm going, where is this coming from? So I investigated, didn't see anything. And then I found some more pieces. And I'm like, all right, there has to be something here. And I looked underneath the table. And I had it, I'll show you. I bought enough where they put it on a leftover bolt. And I was so proud. I was like, I'm going to use this to make clothes. I'm so happy. Can you see what they did? I'm pretty sure it was Anya more than Tallulah, but I'm not saying Tallulah didn't help. Now, there are pieces that are still good. And even having it out here at this moment in time, if I have to stop the video and hide it from them again, I will, because, I know I got this for a deal, but at the same time, I don't like to waste money. So, kind of disappointed in myself for not remembering my cats and knowing what my cats are capable of. So live and learn. If you have cats, hide your stuff. So anyway, that's my sad story. Live and learn, move forward. Okay, so what I'm wearing, so good. What I'm wearing today is called don't remember. I got it from this book, my Homestead Cables book, Emrys Cardigan. And I made mine out of Lion Brand's Fisherman wool, the 100% wool in the color Oatmeal or Natural. I did get this yarn when Joann's was still going in full operation, and I would always get it when it was on sale. I don't remember if the dye lots are all accurate, but there wasn't really that much color differentiation. So it has beautiful cables throughout. I'll stand up. You do the gauge swatches out of the pocket right here. You do 2 of them. I really have only put my hands in them. I haven't put like a phone or anything of weight into them because, to be frank, I'm a little afraid that I made it really big on purpose because I thought I was going to wear this outside for recess duty, and I do, but not as my main outer layer. But my thought was, at the time that I made it, I'm going to put on a wool sweater, and then I'm going to wear this. Oops, my microphone. I'm going to wear this on top of everything. It's too wide here, and I get too cold here. So, would I make this pattern again? Yes. I even said that to myself this morning. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, it is a little oversized, but it's not too bad. And when I wear it, I am perfectly warm. It was really blustery today out on the playground, and it's in this weird transition time period where we got a false spring and now it's kind of snowing. And it was really windy and blustery, and I only had my outer jacket layer, you know, because I have I think they call them 3-in-1 jackets, the less than zero, where you have the inner liner, the outer liner, and then you could wear them together or separate. So I had the outer liner and this, and that was quite comfortable. You make this across from the bottom up, you go all the way across, so you're making the entire cardigan all the way across until the armhole. And then you do the left, wait, I'm looking at it in my head. You do one side, the back, and then the other side. It's all in the pattern. It does have a shawl collar. You pick up stitches here, and I didn't do it correctly, but I messed up on the first sleeve in my thinking of how to do the short rows. So I just copied what I did on the first sleeve, the second sleeve, and it turned out fine. You do shape, what do you call it? Cap shaping right here, and you do this cable all the way down. This cable is also, let's see, where also is it? Oh, it's on the back. I'll show you. I'm going to just stand here for a sec. I loved this cable pattern. It was easy to follow. It was interesting. It kept me entertained. It kept me focused. I did work on this sweater in the heat of August. When did I finish it? Wasn't last August, 2 Augusts ago, and it was quite hot. And yet I could just it was fine. I could work on it for a period of time, usually at night when it was a little cooler because, you know, wool. And this is a rustic type wool. It hasn't, what do you call it, pilled too much. I mean, there is a little bit of pilling here from my cuffs going in and out. The thing I do like about it is I put my hand like this, go through my jacket, and then I have this nice extra warm layer, which really helped today. So I just had to wear gloves, or sometimes I don't even need gloves if it's just the perfect temperature. So I don't know if I have enough of this color to make another one, but I do have brown and cream, but I don't think I would like this in a cream color because I know me and I stain things. I don't remember the needle size. I think I was using a US 9. I did get gauge. It was really pleasant. You know, it has 2x2 ribbing. The instructions were real easy. I think I messed up on the decreases for the arm. And so I just did the same thing over here. You know, c'est la vie. It's part of learning how to sew. The buttons I used, I got these when my daughter was a baby. I don't remember. I think I got them off of Amazon. And they're wood buttons. They're very pretty. And I just sewed on the buttons with a similar looking sewing thread. And it worked out real fine. They haven't fallen off. I do button it up when I am walking around, but like now it's warm enough where I would just, do this. And I'm just sitting here talking to you. So before we go any further, I would like to say thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for all of your likes. I truly appreciate it, and I really do enjoy discussing my makes. It brings me a lot of joy to share, and I hope that you learn something along the way. Now, the second thing I'm going to discuss, I have a list here. I'm going to talk about 5 things I have worked on. I have almost got to some of my goals that I stated in my last episode. So we'll start with that one first. I am making the wilderness sweater. Ooh, I'm getting really close to the edge here. I'm living on the edge. I think that's a song. So this is the bottom of the sweater. I think it's like, it's so dark, it's black. I think it's like 2.5 to 3 inches of ribbing. I used a needle size larger than they suggested. I used a size 8, US size 8, because I wanted it to be more loose, not so tight. And I learned that from a different sweater. I decided I'm going to get the color work done, because then this can just become, I'm tired and I just want to knit in the round and see a big bulky skein of yarn disappear before I know it. This is a sweater made from Alafosslopi yarn. I got mine from Little Knits in Seattle. The pattern is from my Wilderness Knits by Linka Neuman. It will look like this. Oh, no. This is, oops. This is the Wilderness Knits. And I'm doing, as you can see, black, blue, pink, and then this white here will be yellow. I started mine on the winter solstice, so I kind of dubbed it my winter solstice sweater. And these motifs kind of look like, what do you call them? Well, it reminds me of the Lego Frozen adaptation, where they were looking for like the northern lights and they kind of look like this. It was really cute. My daughter was young and I watched it. I decided not to catch my floats this time, per a suggestion I learned from Anna APT Atelier. She said that she doesn't catch her floats. It doesn't seem to be a problem for her. I'm not saying it won't be a problem for me. I have snagged some of my stuff when I'm not being careful, because you can snag your floats real easy. They suggest, knitting books, knitting experts, whoever, catching your floats when they're more than 1 inch long. And I totally understand, and I have, and I will catch my floats, but I noticed with this yarn and my Foika sweater, the area up here, it's not too tight when I wear it. It's only tight when I'm trying to take it off. And it doesn't have that nice give where you just kind of want it to stretch a little bit more. So I'm going to try it on this one and see how it goes. And it does have that nice stretch. So my goal was to get the color work done so I could just work in the round. If I remember correctly, with my Foika, working in the round went really, really fast because the yarn is bulky weight. And there is some inconsistencies with this yarn. Some sections are real thin. You can see. And then some sections are real thick. But, it works and it's fine. And then it blooms and it's fine. When I show this again, I'm hoping that it's further up the line. The motif was real easy to do. There was a time where I had to carry 3 yarns, and I am an English knitter. So I have the 3 yarns. I have black on the bottom, blue in the middle, and pink on top. And I just keep them separated on the side of me. And I make sure I'm organized when I'm knitting, and when I put it away, when I bring it back out, I make sure everything's untangled, and I keep the black one like here. And then I keep the blue one here, and then I keep the pink one here, and then I just kind of keep them all organized. And since I wasn't catching my floats this time around, it was really easy. That was another good thing about it. It's like, wow, this is really easy. I have not tied in my ends yet. I'm just letting it kind of just be. So it is real easy to work on. Now it's like just moving around. I did put some of these stitch markers in to denote where, like, when I was counting the initial, but I decided to keep them there because I'm going to be using them for once I get up to the chest part and you attach the arms and knowing when to start the motifs. I figured, well, I already have them out here. I might as well just keep them here and then I can use them then. So I am presently using my Sunstruck laminated birch needles from Knit Picks. I'll just go like this. I really like them. They move smooth. They are a circular interchangeable needle. So it was real easy. Once I got the right cord length, I could change from the US 8 to the US 10 to the US 10.5 back to a US 10. So for the color work, I did size up to a US 10.5. I think it looks very cohesive, and in my interchangeable set, I have a 10, 10.5, and 11. When I did the double pointed needles for the sleeves, I actually have a 10.75 as well as a 10.5, and I used a 10.75 and for one and a, what do you call it, a 10.5 for the other. Let's see. And right now I just have them on some on hold with the tried on tubing here. So okay, this looks like, okay, so this is the 10.75. It looks okay, right? I think. Or is this the 10? Huh. I noticed something I did here. I made a mistake. Oops. Is that right? Okay, so here's the first one. All right, we'll just say this is the first one. And you see there's 2 rows of the blue right there and 2 rows down here, which is what the motif is. I'm going to double check because I believe so. Oh, no, it isn't. It's 3. Oh, well. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I did 3 on this one. So it's 2 down here and 3 up here. And then I didn't look at the pattern correctly. And on this one, I only did 2. 2 down here, 2 down here. I'm laughing because I know I didn't do it right on the sweater either. Oh well. And there's 2. I'm not going back. I'm not changing it. It's a sweater. It's not life or death. And I don't think anyone will really notice. I know there are some makers out there that this would drive them crazy, but I don't think I'm going to change it. I've already snipped the yarn. I've already started making the sweater. And I mean, would you really? I didn't even notice until I looked at it. So this was probably my first one. No. This was probably the first one. I mean, I see it looks really nice. Well, that's funny. Oh well. Live and learn. For the sleeves, I used double pointed needles the entire way. I did invest in some double pointed needles specifically for sweater making because I also want to make hats as well out of double pointed needles. I found the process to be very nice. I have a cat here trying to take my stuff. Working in the round tires my hands. When it's a smaller circumference, I remember with the Foika of getting really tired, and then everything is on that small needle, and you have to push it, and it was just so much easier doing it with double pointed needles. Now, I can't believe I made a mistake. I mean, well, I can believe I made a mistake, but I can't believe I made a mistake on, well, at least I was consistent in my mistake making. It's really funny. I looked at it and I thought, yeah, it's the same on top as the bottom. I mean, would you even be able to tell? Possibly, if you were a trained designer. Anyway, the yarn is a Lopi yarn, Alafosslopi, which is the bulky weight. And I have this extra piece right here that I had from one of my other sleeves. I took it off of the skein because there was like a really bad messed up part where it was like about like this long, where it was just kind of jaggy and whatnot. But if you see here, the yarn is very thin in that one little spot, and then it becomes thicker again. And then down here is really thick. So there is some inconsistencies with this yarn, but I haven't really found too much of a hassle. I was really kind of worried about if this would like break. I mean, if you pull enough, it can, break apart. But from what I've learned from others who use Lopi yarn, once you work it together in a knit stitch, it becomes very strong, like it reinforces itself. So there you go. Sometimes you have to accept the imperfections in your life and just, move on and say, that's okay. All right. So she has other books. She's a Norwegian knitter, so the instructions are literally one page. Like, this is a different sweater, but you get one page of instructions. That's it. So you kind of have to know what you're doing. If you've made even like a sweater or 3 sweaters, you would know. I'm not saying all color work is easy, but if you are dedicated to learn, you can learn. So now let's go on. This week, let's see. Last Thursday, I worked a hockey game, and then Friday, I did basketball, and then Saturday, after I went grocery shopping, I said, besides the very basics of laundry and dishes, I'm going to knit. And it was glorious. I actually think I sat too much, but I worked diligently on my Veg.Patch jacket, or as I like to say, cardigan. It's very dark. So, can you see where I started? See this little white line? That's where the armhole shaping begins. There's a little pink pin. That's where I was last time. I'm going to move it. I finished the first set of decrease repeats, and my chart that I made myself, this isn't going to give the pattern away. So it's a decrease every 4 rows. So in order for me to know which row I was on, after I put it down, pick it up again, I wrote, where was I? I started with row 5 down to 8. And then I had my method of decreases. I underlined that number. And then I succeeded in getting down to 64 stitches, and I checked it because, you know, that makes you feel good. And now I'm working on the second repeat, which is a 6-row repeat, and I have to do it 4 times. Keeps me entertained. It keeps me on target. And then once I get past that, I will look at the pattern again and see where I'm at. Hi, I have visitors. So it's a very simple cable pattern. Oops, I don't think so. She wants my coffee. She's very naughty. You know, I don't want to share my coffee with the cats for various reasons. Hello, do you want me to hold you? Oh, you got a scabby. They have been fighting with each other. I think it's the spring. Oh, hello everybody. Oh shoot, I lost my microphone. Okay. Oh, the claws are out. Oh, hello. Hello everyone. My name is Anya, and I'm being held against my will. And I don't like being held against my will. No. She's so pretty. You want to get down? All right, off you go. There you go. So, this pattern is really lovely. I also got it from my Homestead Cables book by Nick Picks. The designer is, I believe, I know it, Anni Howard. This is how it will look. There will be, let's see, get it a tie that I have to make. You can do a zipper, but I don't know if I want to do that. I've been opting out of buttons and zippers lately, and you know, life seems just fine without it. So I'm using a US size 6. That's what I got gauge with. I believe the pattern called for a US 8. I'm using my Knitter's Pride Zings. They're a blunt tip. They're working just fine. I really like this pattern. It's really easy to memorize. It's really easy just to, you know, go along. And now I'm going to move my pin, and I cannot wait. I really want to finish this front before the end of February. And I need glasses to see this. And start the second one. I am close. There is times and places to get everything done. And I would really like this for next school year. I know it won't get done by the time school is done, and I know it will be too warm to wear in spring and summer, but it is, it's going to be wonderful. I can just tell. The yarn I am using is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the color Shire Heather. It's 100% Peruvian wool. I got this 2 birthdays ago, and I knew exactly what I was going to use the yarn for, but I had to finish some things before I could start it. And it's lovely. I just find this so enjoyable to work on. Um, it's fun. So there's not really that much to talk about it because I'm just moving along in my makes and trying to get it done. So as I mentioned, I did work some ticket booths, and then on Monday we also had a 7-hour I don't know if you would call it a meeting, class. It was our professional development day and the students had off. So I brought 2 things with me, which I'm going to discuss now. I'm very close to being done in the length of this one. Oh boy, I really messed up. I got a knot here. So I am making the Sailor Swift top by Kutovakika in Patons Linen, which is a discontinued yarn, unfortunately, and the color Sweet Potato and Goldenrod. I'll just hold it for a sec. So on top, I did a smaller size, and then I just added extra stitches here, and it's going to be kind of loose, I think, but I don't know what the I-cord will do to cinch this part in, or do I deviate from the pattern and use like a 2x2 rib? I don't know. I've been thinking about it, but it's coming along. I mean, it's almost, yeah, it's almost at the right length that I want it. Basically, I would wear this underneath something, like wear this and then a cardigan over it, or around the house. I don't really like wearing tank tops out in public. To each their own, right? But I really want to wear, like, maybe, I don't want it too long, because I would like to maybe wear this maybe over a sundress. I don't know. It's just really fun to make. I did not do as the pattern suggested. Well, I did at first, and it does work, but I have these weird holes in mine, and I thought to myself, I'd rather not have the holes. So she teaches you a way to have a continuous stripe so you don't see the little color jag right there. But mine, I felt like I was pulling too hard and too loose, and I had these little holes. But down here, even though they don't technically match up perfectly, it looks better. So I'm not doing I'm just letting it have that little jog of color. It doesn't really bother me that much. And it's on the side. I don't know. Sometimes I like things to look like at a store where everything is cohesive and whatnot. But sometimes, I mean, if you just look at this quickly, I mean, your eye kind of blends things together and you don't really notice it too much. I mean, I do see it, but yeah. I'm gonna move my little pin up. And yeah, it's in the round knitting, so it does get tiring on the hands if I do like 3 rounds, because I'm doing over 200 stitches, I believe. I'm not exactly sure. And that would be 600 stitches going in the round 3 times. So I was working on this. Where's my, hold on. Stop before you make a mistake. Okay, almost lost some stitches. So I was working on this at some ticket booths. Like my daughter sometimes she goes to the game as well, and then I stay there, and I worked on this a little bit, and yeah, you can tell where I made mistakes. Oh well. I don't think I dropped a stitch. It's just wonky right there. It'll be fine. So I worked on it there, And then I worked at it at the meeting. I actually got quite a bit done at the meeting because, you know, it was, I really want to complain, but I'm not going to. But it was an unnecessary waste of time. I'll say that because we already took the class in August and it was the exact same thing with the exact same information, with the exact same jokes, with the exact same slideshow and videos. The exact same. The exact same. So at least I had this to do. I spied someone else in the meeting. I don't know who she is, but I think she's a music teacher from, because we kind of sat in groups that we, like, I'm an EA, so the EAs kind of sat together and, like, you know, there was like little groups of people, and she was sitting next to the other music teachers. So let's see here. I am using a US 2.5, I believe, on this. Yes, or a 3mm. That's what the pattern called for. And I did get gauge. I'm using a DK weight yarn. And this is the Knit Picks Reflections, I believe it says, needle. I really like them. It's the lace weight ones. I think they are really, it's a really nice combination of smooth needle and pointy tip. And it's not too pointy where it hurts your fingers when you're, you know, moving stuff around, but it's nice. It picks up the stitches really nicely. Smooth, doesn't have a lot of click click noise to it, so that's good. Sometimes that bothers people. A funny story, way back when I was at a Unitarian Universalist church a long time ago. And these ladies would bring their knitting or crochet, and I was like getting back into my stuff, and I didn't know how to knit yet, so I'd sit there behind them and I'd be watching them use their needles or their hooks and watch what they made. And I just found it really relaxing, and I really enjoyed watching them. And I would bring mine, but I wasn't like confident enough to participate. I was just like, oh, maybe later. I don't know. My daughter was little, so I used her as my excuse of like, oh, I better pay attention to my baby. Well, one day, this other lady, I don't know if it was before or after, but this other lady was kind of snarky, and she's like, oh, I can't stand the way they use their knitting needles, and they make so much noise, I can't hear anything. And that sealed the deal for me to never bring mine out because I didn't want to get her mad at me. And times changed, and we moved. So the second thing I worked on, let's segue. The second thing I worked on this week at Ticky-Boos and that meeting was my palette cardigan. This is going to be a set and sleeve V-neck. I am using my Ann Buds Handy Book of Sweater Patterns. Just realized I need to send out some birthday cards. I'm going to set those over there. And I am using Knit Picks palette yarn. It's a 2-ply fingering, and I'm using a US 2, I believe. No, a US 3. The same reflection set. It's coming along. I am about a little less than 2 inches away from doing the armhole markings. I did a 2x2 rib at the bottom, and this is going to be the right front. So I already have the back, and the left front done. And my goal for this is I would like to finish the front by the end of February, but at least get up to once it gets to here, and with underarm shaping and then the V-neck, it seems to go really fast. So I really want to get to that underarm area where I can put the green thread through, and then, it just seems to go so much faster. Not much really to talk about. It's a stockinette sweater. It's a cardigan. I don't know if I'm going to put buttons on this one. Maybe I will. We'll see. Not much to talk about because I'm just moving along. Now, I am making one. I did an incentive cast on last week or so because I got done with a cardigan and a wrist warmer. So I casted on a hat that I've always wanted to cast on, which is the Muscle Burl hat. If you know, you know. It's here, and I'm not going to pull it out because I have some notes on here. Now, here's my Ann Budd's book. She makes hats bottom up. And this one is top all the way down and then big long tube. And then you make the smaller decreases on the thing. So, my head measures like 21 and a half, around about 21 and a half. And for circumference. If I were to make the Ann Budd's brim, so you would start big, go small, I got 6 stitches per inch. I would cast on either 120 or 128. And this is kind of a similar situation where you can use any yarn, any needle, and then see how many stitches per inch. And I got 6 stitches per inch using, I believe, a US 5 double pointed needle. Yeah, I believe it's that. So if I were to make a size 20-inch circumference or 21-inch, well, I don't know. I'm getting really confused by this pattern, to be perfectly honest. In it, she states, don't worry if it looks too small, just keep knitting. Okay, so for my head size, since it's 21 and a half, I have a choice of doing adult small, 20 inches, or adult medium, 22 inches. And I don't like loose hats, so I would opt for the 20-inch, but I don't know if that's too small. And I don't know if the 22 would be better because you're doubling everything and then you're losing some width doing that. Well, anyway, I haven't gotten to the finished amounts yet. So if I were to do the size 20-inch circumference, I would have, let me think here, 88 stitches around. And according to Ann Budd, that would be for a 6 stitch per inch, that would be smaller than to I'm just really confused. That would be smaller than a 15-inch circumference head. If I went up to an adult medium, which would be the 22-inch circumference, that would be 26 stitches per needle, which is, let me think here, 104? Is that right? 26 is 52. Yeah, 104. And that would bring me to, that would be just like just over about 17-inch head circumference. Then I was watching Jackie is Making, and she did adult small, and it fit her. And I'm not saying that she has a large head or her head's any larger or smaller than mine, but she did what the pattern required and it fit her. She used a fingering weight yarn on that one, so I'm going to say it was probably 120 stitches total, if it was 8 stitches per inch. I don't know. So I'm making it to go. If I were, I'm struggling. I'm on the struggle bus hardcore because I don't know if the Ann Bud pattern is similar enough to this pattern. Now I'm using 2 strands of my leftover, this is a stash busted, leftover Briar Twist yarn that I made the wrist warmers as well as a cardigan. It's very nice. I love this yarn so much. It doesn't itch me at all. So here I am so far. I mean, it does stretch. And it, it probably stretches a good 1/2 inch. I just don't want to have a hat that I won't wear. So I'm doing the double pointed needles, which I like a lot. It's really, really pleasant. I have a method where I knit 2 stitches, and then on the 3rd stitch, I kind of yank the yarn just a little bit, not like, but like tug it, and it tightens up those stitches, the first 2 stitches, and then I don't get any laddering. It's a technique I learned when I made socks. And so, I don't know. I mean, this is, how many stitches do I have so far? I don't know. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So this would be the adult small size. I have 20 stitches. It just seems too small. I know in the pattern it says, don't worry, it won't be that small, or don't worry if it looks too small. Yeah. The average baby head is 16 inches in circumference. So I think I might just go up to, I was debating. I was like, okay, I'm just going to make the adult large, extra large, because if I were doing for me in the Ann Bud book and I was doing a size 20 inch circumference, which in her book, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it would be the adult small, and that would be 120 stitches circumference, which in this one is the adult extra large. I don't know. It's very confusing. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of, oh, wait. Okay. Huh. I don't know. I don't think I read this all the way through. I was like, yeah, decrease, yeah. Okay, so once you get to this 20, say like right now, I'm at 20 stitches per inch, I'm making the adult small. Say I'm doing that. Then I would knit 3 rounds even, and then I work another increased round, which then means it's 24, 24, 48, 72, 96. Just doesn't seem that big. Yeah, 96. I suppose if I didn't make it too big, I could, like, felt it down. So I think I'm going to go a little bit larger than what they're saying. And I think she has like a little tip here, like on the top, and I don't really like that. So I might just skip and get right to the amount of stitches I need, because I prefer a more rounded hat. I'll let you know what I decide. I'm using my Knit Pick Sunstruck double pointed needles in the laminated birch. They're really nice. I like them a lot. I am more happy to work with double pointed needles than I am with knitting in the round for something like this, because it's small and fiddly and then it grows. And I know there's people that prefer magic loop. I know there's people that prefer shorties or whatever, but I prefer these. The one thing I wish, and I know why they didn't, because it's very smooth all the way through, and sometimes other needles I have had, the printed number it disappears, but there is no marking on this at all to say that this is a US 5. So you would need one of those needle measurers. If this just ended up in a bin somewhere down the line and someone was like, what size needle is this? They would need a needle measurer. So I'm sorry that I'm not very cohesive on this one, but I am very confused. I think I'm just going to work to, as I turn the page and see what it is. As it turns the page, the adult large would be 120 stitches, according to this. According to this, adult large would be 128 stitches. I just don't get it. Oh well. C'est la vie. Well, that hour went by fast. So, if you have any suggestions that, yes, I have made the muscle burl hat. I made it in the adult small, the adult medium, the adult large, or whatever, and it worked out just fine using the stitch count that came in the pattern. Because I'm a little confused. I think I'm going to do the adult medium to play it safe, according to this. And then that would be a total of 112 stitches around. It just seems so small. I just doubt it so much. I really, really doubt this pattern. And I paid for it. And I debated upon getting it out for a really long time. And then, many, 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 many knitters have said how wonderful of a pattern it is. And you can use any needle and any yarn type and all that stuff, which I find so lovely, because that's why I like my Ann Budd books so much. But I have a hard time looking at this and saying, yes, this is correct, when I know that these books have never proven me wrong, ever, or led me astray. That's the right thing to say. They have never led me astray, and now I feel like I'm being led astray, and I don't want to waste time knitting something that won't work out. So, err on the caution of being larger and then felt it down. Maybe. Oops. My cat is playing. My Tallulah is playing with the snow that is coming down so heavily. Everyone was so happy that the snow melt. Co-workers and even my own family. And I'm like, it's February. Just because everything melted and turned to ice and became treacherous doesn't mean we're not going to get snow in April. And everyone's like, I'm so over snow. And, you know, I like to think of other people that need the snow. You got the tourism industry, snowmobiles, the Burka Binder, which is happening this weekend up in Hayward, Wisconsin, which is a big skiing thing. So you have downhill skiing, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing. You have all these winter things that you can do. Yes, it's cold and not always so pleasant to be outside in the winter, but if you dress appropriately, any weather is fine. I prefer winter over summer personally, and I also think of the farmers. They need snow. They need a good snow pack so the crops do well in the summer, so the seedlings start. You don't want an 80-degree day in March, say, and then for a big snowstorm to happen, or a freeze to happen in May when all the buds are on the trees. They have a hard job. Cheers to farmers. So anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for stopping by. Take care. Have fun. Bye for now.